Today in our 2017 Ford C-Max, we're going to be installing CURT's Class 2 1¼ inch trailer hitch receiver, part number C12092. As you can see here, the cross tube is hidden behind the bumper, so you're only going to be able to see the receiver tube here at the end. This is a Class 2 1¼ by 1¼ inch receiver, so it's going to be great for cargo carriers, bike racks, and light towing. It uses a 1/2 inch hitch pin and clip. Now, one doesn't come with the hitch, but you can pick one up here at etrailer.com with part number F-4. It features hoop-style safety chain loops, so they're going to have a nice wide opening that's going to accommodate just about every style safety chain. It features a 350-pound tongue weight, and that's the force going down on top of the receiver, and a 3,500-pound gross towing capacity. That's how much it can pull behind it. You do want to verify in your vehicle's owner's manual that you don't exceed its towing capacities. And do keep in mind that CURT recommends using a stabilization strap when hauling any non-trailer loads, and that's basically anything without wheels. And now to assist you when deciding on accessories, I've got some measurements for you. From the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube, it measures about 11 inches. This is important when determining if you need a raised shank, drop, or rise on any of your accessories. Since it is so low, I would recommend getting accessories with a raised shank. And from the center of the hitch pin hole to the edge of the rear bumper, it measures about 5 inches. This is important when determining if any of your folding accessories can be placed in the upright storage position without contacting the bumper. We'll begin our installation underneath the rear of our vehicle here on our driver's side. We're going to remove the exhaust hanger bracket on this side. There's 2 bolts you'll want to remove with a 13mm socket. We can just bend that out of the way. We'll now clean out the weld nuts that are located on each side of the frame. We're going to spray some lubricant up inside the holes, and then just use a bristled brush to clean those out. That'll make it easier to install your hardware. We're going to do this on both sides, and if you need a bristled brush, you can pick one up here at etrailer.com. We'll now need to lift our hitch, and we're going to secure it with one of the bolts on each side that go into our factory weld nut. You'll take a conical tooth washer and place it on one of the smaller bolts in the kit. We're just going to thread that up into the frame. And once you get one started on each side, it'll make it easier to hold the hitch in position to install the rest of your hardware. We'll then use our 13mm socket again, just to snug these down, as we're going to be using our hitch as a template to drill out a hole. We're going to snug down one on each side. Now we'll mark out our hole here, where it is located on each side. Now we'll take our hitch back down so we can drill out our hole. We marked out the slot where our hole was on our hitch, so we're just going to drill out right in the center. I'm going to start by making an 1/8 inch hole with an 1/8 inch drill bit, then we're going to step it up to 7/16 for our hardware. We're going to do that on both sides. And then we'll step it up. We'll now use a file to widen this hole just a little bit. It's long enough this way, but it's not quite wide enough this way to get your bolt to pass through. This is our access hole where we're going to be putting our hardware in and dropping it down the holes we just drilled out. Just want to verify that your bolt will slide up in there. Doesn't take much filing, just enough to get that bolt to go in. We'll now use some clear coat to seal up the holes that we drilled and filed off here, and that'll just help seal it up to prevent against corrosion. Now we'll take our fish wire, we're going to push it up through the hole that we drilled out. We're going to go over towards our access hole. We're going to bring it out down through there. On our coiled end, we're going to slide on our spacer, push that up into the frame. And we're going to thread on our carriage bolt and push that up into the frame as well. Now, the way I filed it out, I know that it fits this way, so I'm going to go this way since I know it fits. And then we're going to pull it back down through our hole. We're going to repeat that same process on the other side. And now we can put our hitch back into position. You want to make sure you take your fish wire and feed it down to the appropriate holes on each side. For your passenger side, it's probably easier to get that hitch up into position first before you feed the wire down, just because you got to get it up over that exhaust. On your passenger side, you're going to thread in your shorter bolts with conical tooth washers facing towards the hitch, little teeth there. These are the shorter of the smaller bolts, into your weld nuts. And on our carriage bolt, we're going to thread on our flange nut. On your driver's side, it'll probably be easier for you to put the carriage bolt nut on first to hold the hitch up. We're going to pull our fish wire off of there. And we're going to thread on our flange nut. We're going to take the longer M8 bolts with the conical tooth washer on them facing up towards the hitch, and we're going to put those through our exhaust bracket and thread them up into the existing weld nuts in the frame. We can now go back and tighten down and torque all of our hardware. Our smaller bolts we're going to tighten with a 1/2 inch socket. And our larger bolt we're going to tighten with an 11/16 socket. We're going to do this on both sides. We can now go back and tighten and torque all of our hardware to the specifications in our instruction. And that completes our installation of CURT's Class 2 1 1/4 inch trailer hitch receiver on our 2017 Ford C-Max.